Look, I'm a little late to the party, but Pantheon Rise of the Fallen is going into early access here in December 2024. That's right, this great year of our Lord 2024. And I want to talk about how I feel about this announcement and the details of it. As you probably know, I've been playing through the seasons of Pantheon, and I was playing in pre-alpha prior to that. I've been enthusiastic about this upcoming MMORPG, and I've stressed the importance of why I think Pantheon Rise of the Fallen is a big deal for anyone who enjoyed classic pre-World of Warcraft MMOs such as EverQuest, Final Fantasy XI, Dark Age of Camelot, and the list goes on. I've championed this MMO through the thick and the thin, and we've had plenty of thick controversies and plenty of thin times where there wasn't much information available or content being released. I've been one of the few who have continued making content on Pantheon Rise of the Fallen and pushed for their vision and been a downright good old chap about everything, all the things that's happened over the many years of development. One might think I'd be absolutely ecstatic about Pantheon Rise of the Fallen entering a state where more people around the world can jump in and experience what it has to offer and what makes it so special. And the truth is, I am happy about that portion of it. I think for old school MMO fans, Pantheon is still one of the best options that we have. Of course, I have to side conversate that these days there are more upcoming options, such as the wonderful Monsters and Memories, who have shown, in my opinion, a much more kind of professional indie game development style, at least so far. But Pantheon has been moving through these seasons with updates and new content with each season. I've played through them, sometimes with more excitement than others, of course, and I really do enjoy everything they've released so far, and I can log into Pantheon and have a great time whenever I want. My issues aren't at all with the content that's been released so far, or the world design so far. Heck, it's not even the graphic style like probably it is for many of you. My issue is a trust factor with kind of like promises made and promises kind of happening sort of sometimes, usually not on time. And this is over many years, you gotta understand. It's something I think almost every Pantheon fan has suffered with if you've at least been on this road to development long enough. So in December 2024, Pantheon is supposed to release into early access with 6 sprawling zones, which include Thronefast, which is already in the game, feels complete to me, Avendir's Pass, already in the game and playable, Halnir's Cave, which just became playable recently, Silent Plains, which is new, Eastern Plains, which is new, and Wild's End, which is definitely new. With the pace of development so far and only 3 of those 6 available and actually have been tested currently, it means that 3 whole zones will be completed in the next few months and available to test on a grand scale with a ton of new faces, giving Pantheon Rise of the Fallen a chance. It's a bit hard for me to swallow and to actually believe it. Their team size has shrunk, and based on past releases and kind of the pace of development so far, it feels overwhelmingly impossible. But that's not even all, my friends. Because even though right now we can only play as one race, the humans, and even the humans still have kind of limited animations for a lot of things, for early access in a few months, we're being told we'll get ogres, elves, darkmer, dwarves, halflings, and I mean, hopefully, at least somehow rigged and animated and at least on par with the humans or close in a few months' time somehow. But wait, that's still not all. We're also supposed to be getting classes up to level 40, which at this time, most of the classes tap out around level 20. So, I mean, yeah, this all sounds really exciting, and if you were to grab a time machine and throw the Nathan Napalm in it and dial it back about 4 years, I would have been preaching to the skies about how excited and awesome and good news this is. And I probably would have actually believed it with 100% certainty and approval 4 years ago. Now, grab up a raggedy old Nathan Napalm you see before you today, and I'm skeptical, man. Here's the deal. I really hope it works out. I hope they can pull this off. And if they do, I'll be nerding out, pumping out videos and showing it off, and I'll really celebrate it. Because it would be a monumental occasion, because it would be the time that Pantheon released something to the public in a time frame that is true and accurate to what they claimed. And that makes me sad, but it would be. The reality is that I expect the zones won't be very fleshed out. It'll be very bare bones. The classes will have some major issues, and the races will not all actually be working, or they'll be running around in T-poses around the world of Terminus. That's my expectations. And I'm just being real here. And listen, that would be completely okay when you're developing the game in a pre-alpha type environment, or even in a pre-release season type environment. But when Visionary Realms starts tossing out words like early access, look, I know it's just a word, but it means something. Words mean things sometimes. So when they start saying early access, and they start inviting people in to the game who, no matter what they say, no matter how it's communicated, no matter if it flashes across the screen every 5 seconds, they're going to treat this like a game that is finished but just hasn't fully launched. They'll expect it to be an MMO that is functional, fully functional, and they will expect something that feels somewhat polished and fully playable to some certain extent at the very least. And then the dogs are just completely unleashed, which this project, by the way, has already taken more bites and scratches, rips and tears than a 10-cent Lady of the Night. It's just not going to be good for anybody if this is what, if this doesn't release in a really good, impressive state with these things. It's just not going to be good, dude. It's just not. And I guess I just wanted Pantheon Rise of Fallen to be Brad's final gift to the MMO world, to release in a very respectable manner, like a real AAA MMORPG would. I just feel like Brad's projects have already released in weird states in the past. Vanguard Saga of Heroes, for example. And I thought this was the time we were going to do it right. I thought this was the time that we were going to like go through and actually release and launch when ready. And look, I get it. Early access isn't launch, but you got to understand. You got to understand. I'm not talking about my feelings. I'm not talking about your feelings. I'm talking about releasing the hounds on this game who are going to expect certain things when you use the words early access, okay? This is really early access, right? Like, this is like super duper early access. I guess I just feel like early access being used feels gimmicky in this situation. And I really wanted this to release with more power when it went more mainstream public viewing. I just wanted Pantheon to really show off its old school classic MMO world design that would be readily available before it hit a point where tons of people pour in. What I don't want is for Pantheon's reputation to be smeared to another generic MMO trying to cash in. That kind of feel. Not that I think that's what they're technically doing here, but it won't change the public's opinion. And listen, it doesn't matter the intentions of the developers. It doesn't matter the good nature of the core player base. None of that matters when the savage pit bulls of the wild internet rampage into Pantheon on day 1 of the early access, day 2, week 1, month 1, and judge it by the contents of what it is currently, and judge it as if that's what it is forevermore. Some will come back, some will be patient, some will come back at least for launch, some will check in every once in a while, but the damage that can be done by 1, 2, or even 3 major YouTube influencers or Twitch streamers could tarnish the reputation of this MMO so harshly and so brutally that it could never recover. I hope I'm wrong. Look, I hope Visionary Realms really flexes and this goes over smoothly. I really consider many of the developers on the Pantheon project as personal friends, and I genuinely want the best for Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, but a beat-up, tired old horse can only run so long on the words and promises of its rider before it begins to slow and gasp for air and water. Even Brad's great vision could sputter and cough its lungs out before the finish line. I hope this isn't the case, and I'll be covering it, I'll be playing it, and doing all the things here on the channel, but this is how I feel, and I am concerned. Really hope I'm wrong, and I hope that they really did, like, kind of have a plan, and this was, you know, they were working on these zones for a long time, and they're all coming together, and the races, and the animations, and the content is all there, because if the content for these 3 new zones is as good as the content for the couple of zones that we have now, then it will be good, because those are fun zones and I've done over and over, as they're doing character wipes and all that kind of thing, and I've redone them each season. I've had a blast, and I don't dread redoing the content. It's that good that I'm actually usually, by the time there's a new season, which is about every 6 weeks, I'm usually happy to do it again, because it's fun. It's good stuff. It's good MMO gameplay, and the game loop is fun, especially in a group like the game was designed. It's there. There's a lot there that is good. It's just the fact of the wording, calling it early access, and it's early. It's really ridiculously early access. You know what I mean? Like, it's not what we consider early access to be more like, look, you're getting in the game a little early to try it out for supporting us or whatever, or paying us more money or whatever. Lots of situations these days. But the normal person doesn't really think of early access as freaking pre-alpha. You know, like that's like saying, hey, I'm a little early for your birthday party, and you show up like 6 months before the birthday party. You know what I mean? Like, that's not early. That's just the wrong day. You know, that's just the wrong day, bro. You're not early. You just need to go home and get your life together and come back, right? Like, does that make sense? Anyway, I love Pantheon Rise and Fallen. I'll be covering it here on the channel. I'm having a blast with it. I just think this wording situation wasn't the best idea. Now it's already out there, so now, hey, they gotta do it, so I'm really wishing the best. I'll be there. I'll be playing it. Hopefully they can pull this off. If they do, I'll be genuinely impressed, and I think a lot of other people will be too. But anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Please don't forget to hit that like button like it owes you money, and please subscribe for more MMO and RPG content. And until next time, my friends, God bless and happy gaming. Thank you to the members of Napalm on YouTube and the subs on Twitch. You too can support the Nathan Napalm by clicking join right below this video, or by subscribing on Twitch and become a part of the Napalm family. Thanks to your support, I can keep streaming and bringing you the ultimate MMO and RPG entertainment. And I want to give a very big shout out to the Lords of Napalm: Bounty Code, Jared Woodhouse, Daimlos, Farthest Reach, Random Rob, What's the Takeaway, My Boot in Your Ass, Aaron Owen. Thank you for your highest tier membership. Join today and keep the Nathan Napalm geared up and ready for adventure.